Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. What's up? I'm Captain Christian and here at Parker, Arizona. This strange looking airplane, you may not be familiar with it, is the Cessna 337. Beautiful airplane. I got the chance to fly it for a few times, for a few hours when I was young, starting my career as a professional pilot, and I loved it. Super nice airplane. So now I'm taking the Cessna 337 Skymaster up to the skies from a flight from here, Parker, Arizona, and we're going today to Riverside, California. So let's see how that works. Flight plan is filed, so pre-flight is complete, everything is looking fine. Let me remove the static elements here. So we don't have the cones, the chokes, and everything is looking good in the airplane. Fuel has been checked and we are ready to go. So let's jump right in. Let me close the door here because it would be embarrassing to depart with the doors open. And let me open the window for a little bit of fresh air while we prepare the airplane. Okay, before we touch anything, let's make sure that everything is set up correctly. The fuel valves up here are in the green. That means they are okay. Let me hide this thing so we can see the switches. Parking brake is set. Avionic master off. Ignition off. Battery off. Actually, all the electrical switches are off. Cowl flaps are off. Props are full forward. Mixture and throttles are off. Synchro phaser is off. Alright, let me put some air here and some defrosting air, and everything looks good. So let me first connect to the PilotEdge network, and today we are flying as November 124 for Sierra, so that is correct. So let me hit connect here.
Connected to PilotEdge.
All right, that's good. Connected to PilotEdge. So let's go ahead and turn on the battery. And because we don't have really, one of the shortcomings of this model is that we don't have proper electrical indications here. We have an ammeter here, but it's not working. And in the airplane that I flew for real, we used to have two ammeters here for the generators, and we don't have that either. So that's why I have this up here, this digital display of our values. Right now I can see that the battery is on, is losing voltage, and is being discharged. So that is correct for the phase that we are on right now. So alternators are both on. And first of all, let me prime the engines. So for that, I'm gonna switch both mixtures forward, both throttles forward. And I'm gonna switch on the fuel pumps, the auxiliary fuel pumps, for a little while until I show some fuel flow here in the fuel flow indicator. So let's go ahead and do that with the rear engine. Oh, come on, this thing is zooming in its own. Okay, rear engine, fuel flow noted, off. Front engine, fuel flow noted, off. Okay, so engine has been primed. Gonna go ahead and open the cowl flaps, turn the beacon light on, and we are ready to start the engine. So clear. Starting the rear engine. Now we need to see oil pressure rising. That's the most important thing initially. So let's go ahead and start the rear engine. Okay, and we have a good start. Make sure that the ignition is back to both, and we have oil pressure in the green, oil temperature also in the green. Let me set the mixture here, lean for taxi, and RPMs I'm gonna set around a little bit less than 1,000 RPMs. That's a good value to start. Okay, clear for the front engine. Alright, so here it goes, the front engine, and again we have some oil pressure. Oil temperature is rising. Again, I'm gonna lean for taxi. and about 1000 RPMs. Okay, so engine instruments are good. Now I can see that the battery is being recharged. The alternators are both working, and again I see that in my digital readout up here, because we don't have a working gauge for that as we should in the real airplane. Alright, anyway, so everything is good here. Navigation light is on, and now I'm gonna go ahead and turn the avionics master switch on. Okay, and let's close the window here so we don't hear too much noise, and let's put our noise cancelling headsets on as well. So let's check everything here. Synchro phaser is off, airspeed indicator is good, attitude director indicator is good, altimeter. So let's listen to the AWAS is 132.75, which I have set on COM radio number 2. So let's see if we can hear that. Nope. Looks like it's not working, at least in this version of X-Plane. Anyway, so let's read if we have anything. We don't have really nothing. The nearest one, Lake Havasu, it's 2981. Parker is 460 feet high. So let's see, 460. That means 2992. That doesn't sound right. Let's see if we can update the weather here. So let's, yeah, that doesn't look right. So let me refresh the weather. Okay, now we have something. And let me see if the timing, yeah, no, I like to track real time as well. So let's apply those changes. All right, and let's try one more time. No, still nothing, but now I see a movement in the altimeter here. So let's say 2980 as reported by the nearby station, and now it's reading pretty close to the actual elevation of the airport, so that works for me. 2980. Okay, that works for me as well. Good. Temperature here is showing almost 28 degrees Celsius, and the nearest one is showing 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that works. In this area looks like clear skies, and the wind is about 160 at 11, so wind from the southeast, south-southeast at 11. Runway here in Parker is 1 and 19er, so because of the wind we are going to use runway 19er for departure. All right, so once that is done, let me continue with my instruments here. Okay, that is set, clock is set, we said time is 15:48, which in local is 8:48. Okay, so that's good. Engine instruments are good here. There's our HSI, matches with the compass. VSI is in 0, and lights are, beacon and navigation lights are on, the rest are off. We don't need pitot heat, we don't need anything else at this point. Cowl flaps are open. Trim, let me set the trim for takeoff with my trim wheel here. Synchro phaser is off, let me set flaps for takeoff. Air controls are set. Engine instruments are good. Okay, so now the avionics. All right, so let's put okay on the GPS. We have 129 gallons of fuel left, which is plenty. So okay for that. All right, so let's see the timing here. 15:49 UTC. Yeah, that is correct. All right, so before we go any further, let's go ahead and confirm fuel 129 gallons sensed. That is correct. And let me reset the flight timers so they are ready to go. Okay. That is done. Now let's go ahead and work on our flight plan. Damn, this I have a hardware, real SIM hardware for the GPS, which is really good. But I have a lot of stuff here and I'm not really comfortable. Message. This is for home use entertainment only. That's a very good message indeed. This is not instruction, is not training, is not for real life, it's just entertainment, pure and simple entertainment, guys. All right, so let me set the flight plan here. Flight plan opens always with the airport that you are in, which is P20, which corresponds to Parker. And let me set here. So from here we go to Papa Kilo Echo. Papa Kilo Echo. Okay, that's the VOR of Parker. And from that we go to PSP. Papa Sierra Papa. Papa Sierra Papa Palm Springs VOR. We have two. Look, we have two Papa Sierra Papas. One VOR in Southwest USA. That's the one that we are looking for. And we have an NDB in Argentina named Papa Sierra Papa as well. So that's why the unit is asking us, which one of those two you want? Well, of course, I want the VOR, and I'm not going to go to Argentina in this one. So VOR accept, yeah. And now we take the Victor 338, which basically takes me to D-Way. We cannot load D-Way. D-Way. Okay, hold on one second. D-Way, that's the intersection, that is correct. And then we go to Papa Delta Zulu, basically. We have a couple of other points there, but I'm not going to worry about that at this point. Papa Delta Zulu, which is Paradise, correct. And finally, to our destination, Kilo Romeo Alpha and Lima. Riverside, perfect. All right, so that's our flight plan. I was saying that I cannot load the airways in this unit. This unit is the Garmin 430W, and it doesn't accept loading, you know, airways. So you have to enter each waypoint. So yeah, it's an old unit. I think it's from the 2000 or something. All right, but I love it. And I love it even more with my real hardware down here. I'll see if I can take a picture of that and include in the video for you to see that. So I don't need to use the mouse to use the unit. So two things I love about this unit. One, my real hardware here, which is made from real sim gear. And another thing that I love is the Reality XP software, which is based on the real unit software. So this unit, this simulation is completely real, 100%. Unfortunately, that limits only to the GPS. The rest is not very well done, but it's what it is. It's what we have, so we have to live with it. Like the electrical thing, you know, electrical simulation is not really working. These indicators, okay, let me put the hardware out. So like these indicators, they're not working. The ammeter is not working. These things here in this unit is not working. A lot of things are not working. So I'm not very happy about it, but I cannot do anything about it. So, but most importantly, my GPS is working, and it's working fine, and it works exactly like the real one. So I'm happy with that. Okay, enough talking. Flight plan is done. First leg from P20 to Papa Kilo Echo. We are connected to PilotEdge. And what's next? Next is to verify In aviation, we always verify, guys. So cross-check, that's the key. And what do I mean by that? From Papa Kilo so from the airport to Papa Kilo Echo is 251, that's the track, 251 degrees, 220.7 miles. And I'm gonna cross-check that with my navigation software here, and 21 miles. Good. Now to Papa Sierra Papa 250 and 88 miles. Correct. Now to D-Way 274 with 16 miles. That's correct. And finally to Paradise is 256. Correct. And we have to add here all the waypoints in between: 21, 31, 33, 39. Correct. And finally from Paradise, oops, nope, I don't want to include anything. I just want to look from Paradise to the airport is 52 and 5 miles. Good. So everything matches. Our flight plan is correct. So that's the cross-check that we need. And another cross-check that we need, we cannot just rely, blindly on the GPS. We always need to navigate as well. So I'm gonna set the 17.9, which is the Parker VOR here. And let's set this one here as well. We can use this one to cross-check, because actually the one on the HSI is gonna be busy with the GPS signal, but we can cross-check in the secondary VOR here to make sure that we are effectively going to where we think we are going. And we have our DME here as well. I'm gonna set this to N2, which is this radio here, so we can cross-check. We have here 17.9 as well, but this is the one that we're gonna be using with this one to cross-check, as this one unit, which is radio number 1, will be using with this one with the GPS. All right, so that is set. This is correct too. And I think with that we have all our navigation set up. Now, what's next? Next is time to request our clearance. So for that we need to have some paper, we need to be ready to copy, and let me see here, craft, that's the mnemonic that we use to copy clearances. And the first one is the clearance limit, which in this case is Riverside. We know that we are gonna be clear to Riverside, so I'm gonna go ahead and enter that. And in here we use one, in PilotEdge we use 122.2 to simulate that we are calling to a flight service station for our flight plan. So 122.2 we have for now, and let's see what they have to say. SoCal, good morning, Skymaster 1244 Sierra at Parker with the numbers, request IFR to Riverside.
Skymaster 1244 Sierra, Los Angeles Center, clear to Riverside Airport as filed, maintain 10,000. Los Angeles Center frequency 126.35, squawk 2440.
Skymaster 1244 Sierra, clear to Riverside as filed, climb and maintain 10,000. Departure will be 126.35 and squawk 2440.
44 Sierra, read back correct. Hold for release, advisor ready for departure.
Wilco 1244 Sierra. Alright guys, so we have our clearance as filed. How nice is that? So we don't have to change anything on the VO, on the GPS. We are clear to climb straight ahead to 10,000. That's good, and that's because we are in a faraway place. There is no traffic here, so that's why we can go ahead and climb all the way up to 10,000. Departure frequency is going to be 126.35. I'm going to set that a little bit later. And transponder is 2440. So transponder 2. Oh, I hate this. 2. Okay. 440, and I'm going to set to Alt now, because we are pretty much ready to start everything. 2440, so we are all set. Unicom is 122.725, so I'm gonna transfer.
Airbus 16, contact Santa Barbara approach 120.55.
I'm gonna transfer to Unicom now. We know that we're gonna use runway 19er, so we have to taxi to the right. Let me see exactly how we're gonna get there. Okay, yeah. Taxi to the right. Okay, so before moving anything, let's make sure that we've actually done everything. How we do that? We go to our thrusting checklists and select the before taxi checklist. Okay, CBS, that means circuit breakers, and I can see that they are all in. Fuel valves in the green, trim set for takeoff, cowl flaps open, flight controls. Yeah, that's something that always something that you forget. So forgot to check the flight controls here. Really, really important. Flight controls. All right, so flight controls are checked. Flaps set for takeoff. Mixture lane for taxi. Transponder transponding. Instruments are all set. Nav and com set. Time 16:02. So let me write that down. That would be our block time, 16:02. And okay, and brakes test. We'll do that as soon as we start moving. So before taxi checklist complete, we are ready to go. Before that, let me write that down for my planning also. 128 gallons of fuel. 128 gallons. Okay. So we are all set. Let me go back here to my proper pages. Okay. Now, taxi light on. Release the brakes. Check the brakes. Yep, they are working. Clear on the left, clear on the right. Parker traffic, Skymaster 12440, taxiing from the ramp to runway 19er, Parker. Okay, that's our Unicom call there to let everybody know that what's our intentions, where are we, what we're doing. And now we are taxiing. So during taxi, what can we do? We can check compass that is moving. We can check the HSI is moving. We can check the turn and bank indicator is moving. Yeah, all of those are working. That's good. We can check the air instruments as well. ADI, HSI, they are both working. Well, HSI is actually electric in this one. Turn coordinator is electric as well. And ADI, I think the ADI is air. I'm not sure in this simulation. What I know is that the suction gauge is not really working as it should, among other hundreds of things that are not really working in this model. But anyway, I still love it. It's a beautiful airplane. Okay, so let's see. We don't have anybody coming that way. We don't have anybody coming this way. All clear. So we take this taxiway. Oh, looks like we have a little bit of upslope here. All right. I don't know if you can hear the engine sounds or the taxi sounds. I've set those down so you know we don't get that much distracted from that. Okay, so let's check. Compass is showing about 15 degrees, and that's what we have in the H side, correct? And that's what we have on the track on the GPS as well. So that means everything is working as it should. Very desert, this area here, Parker. This airport is called Ave Sukelia, Papa 20 in Parker. Okay, a little bit of a narrow taxiway here. Make sure that we stay within the limits of the pavement area. Good. Alrighty. Lots of, it's a big taxiway actually for such a relatively small airport. It's, I don't know why they made it so wide, so big, the taxi distance, I mean. Anyway, all right, so in the meantime we can go ahead and think about our takeoff. That's our briefing. What's gonna happen? Our rotation speed is 73 knots, so we're gonna put full mixture, we're 500 feet only, so we don't have to lean the mixture for anything. We'll just go with full mixture, full props, full power. Make sure that the engine instruments are in the green, all of them. Make sure that we are accelerating, that we have airspeed readings. And we keep rolling, and 73 is our rotation speed. If we have any problem before that, we will close the power levers to idle, brake, and stop on the runway. Assess the situation and make a decision. If it's not fire or something like that, we can taxi clear of the runway, see where to go next. And we'll do a radio call out as well. 73 knots, rotate. Once we have positive climb, gear up. If we have any problem, especially engine problem, at that point we will identify, verify, and feather. Make sure that the gear is up, the flaps are up, and we continue with our takeoff. Runway 19, so let me just go ahead and set our parking brake here. Okay, parking brake is set. Alright, so runway 19 here has right-hand traffic pattern, so we will turn right, come back and land. If no problem, we'll continue, and we have to do the obstacle departure procedure. Actually, we don't have to do it. Right now it's completely visual, so we will not do it. But just to review, from runway 19, right turn to intercept the VORTAC 067 to Papa Kilo Echo. And that is exactly what we have here. The radial 067 is down here because we have a 2 indication. That means that we read the radials on the bottom, and our course is on the upper part of the indicator. So we'll do a right turn to intercept this radial straight ahead to the VOR, and that's basically the obstacle departure procedure. So pretty much what we were planning on doing anyway. So that's it. So after takeoff, 73 rotation, positive climb, gear up, flaps up, prop 2600, right turn at least 500 feet above the terrain, so that means 1000 feet indicated right turn to intercept the radial 067 inbound to the VOR. And that's basically what we have in the GPS as well. Then we will accelerate, climb at 110 knots, and we can go ahead and climb all the way to 10,000 feet. All right, so that's our briefing. Good, so now we have to check our engines. So for that, we will make sure that nobody is behind us as much as I can tell. The area looks clear. It's not that we can tell that much from here, but anyway, full mixture, and I'm gonna set RPM up to about 2000 and then check the magnetos. I'm not gonna do it actually in this simulator because that's one thing I don't like it too much about this. Sometimes they are not that precise, so you can go to off or to start without really intending to do so. So I'm gonna just simulate that I'm checking magnetos to the right then both left and both on the rear engine and same on the front engine. And the idea is verify that we have similar decay in RPMs, about 50 to 100 drop in RPM, and that is equal on both sides. So let's say that's done. We make sure that we have suction, and we do have. Exercise the props. Yep, the props are working here. Rear, yep, it's working as well, so that is good. Make sure that the alternators are working, electrical system is working, all the instruments are in the green. Okay, idle. Check idle readings. Idle readings are okay, and let's go ahead and advance again to 1000. All right, so I think with that we are pretty much all set. So time is 1612. That's gonna be our takeoff time. 1612, and that's what we have here as well. Yep. So I think we can do our thrusty checklist. Make sure that we didn't forget anything. Okay, before takeoff checklist. Seatbelts. Okay. Secure briefing complete. Run up finished. Doors and windows checked. Synchrophaser off. Mixture full reach. Engine instruments all in the green. Time is noted. Lights standby. Okay, only lights. That means before takeoff checklist is complete. As soon as we have clearance for takeoff, we turn on the lights. What do we do now? We change to our departure frequency. Let's see. Actually, we change to 1 to 2.2. Okay, right. So that was LA Center. LA Center, Skymaster 1244 Sierra, holding short of runway 19er at Parker, ready for departure as number 1.
Aircraft going second.
LA Center is Skymaster 1244 Sierra, number 1, ready for departure from runway 19er at Parker.
44 Sierra, thank you. Release for departure. Clearance void if not off in 3 minutes. Not off in 3 minutes. Advise attention to this frequency not later than 10 minutes. Change to advise frequency approved.
Release for departure, not void in 3 minutes, and frequency change approved. We'll see you 1244 Sierra. Okay. Now we change back to our Unicom frequency. 2635 will be departure frequency. 2635. Okay. Make sure that we don't see anybody coming here. Nobody coming. Nobody coming. Chicas, nobody coming. Okay, so I think we are good. And okay. Parker traffic, Skymaster 1244 Sierra, runway 19er. Take off and we'll be turning right, departing westbound, Parker. Okay, that's our Unicom. Landing lights are on, strobe lights are on, and with that our before takeoff checklist is complete. Let's go. Okay, now let's focus here, make sure that all the instruments are good. All right, 19er, correct in the compass, correct in the HSI, correct on the track. Let's go. Rear engine is good, front engine is good, engine instruments in the green, airspeed alive, 60 knots, 70, 73, rotation. brakes, gear up. Gear is up, no lights, flaps up. Okay, flaps up. Propeller. 26, 26, it's good. Synchro phaser on. 1000, turning right to intercept this radial to the VOR. Looks clear. And we will maintain 110 knots with the pitch. That's like a VY speed for this airplane. Okay, that's a 45-degree intercept angle. CDI is alive. Good. Okay. Parker traffic, Skymaster 1244 Sierra is passing 2300 on the climb, westbound Parker. Okay, transfer to the center here. LA Center, good morning, Skymaster 1244 Sierra passing 2600.
1244 Sierra, Los Angeles Center, ident.
Ident pressed.
1244 Sierra, radar contact. 10 miles east Parker, and climb maintain 10,000.
Climb maintain 10,000, 1244 Sierra. Alright, so we are in radar contact, position is correct. We are climbing to 10,000.
6 Alpha Hotel contact, Palm Springs Tower 119.7.
And we just have to keep this center line here. Looks like, yep, the wind is from our left side. So let me correct for that. Alright, so we are out of the airport environment. Taxi lights are, landing lights are off. We have our RPMs set. Our synchro phaser is on. So time for our trusty checklist. And this one will be the after takeoff checklist. Okay, so gear is up, flaps, up, prop, set, cold flaps, open, lights, set, and after takeoff checklist complete. Nice. Right. Yeah, we still need a little bit more of left correction here, because we have a strong wind from the left. Let's see. Okay, let's see what's the wind doing really. That we can check in this plan, in this page here. Wind, not really that strong. 160 at 15. Well, 160, yeah, that's a 15 actually. 15 knot crosswind. So that's why we have this difference between the heading and the track, because we had a 15 knot crosswind. And with our ground speed, which is not that much, that's a lot. That's a lot of crosswind. So, okay. Good. Means we basically have to track 243 to have a heading of 243 to have a track of 251. That's because of the wind. And ForeFlight is correct. ForeFlight was predicting a heading of 244, and that's what we are flying actually, heading 244 for a track of 251. So that's pretty good. Alrighty, climbing through 5,500. One of the nice things here in the US is that we don't have to worry about transition altitudes. In general aviation, pretty much nobody knows what transition altitude is. I'm joking. Everybody knows that it's 80,000, but nobody uses, because no general aviation plane can go up to 18,000. So in other places it's not like that, you know. In other places transition altitudes vary from airport to airport, and it can be as low as 3,000 feet, 4,000, 5,000, very low transition altitudes in other places, but not in US, which is good. Okay, let's check everything. Engine instruments are still good. Cylinder temperatures are a little bit high. Yeah, that's one of the problems of this airplane, the Cessna 337 Skymaster. It tends to run a little bit hotter, and that's even with the cowl flaps open. I never get to close those cowl flaps because it gets too high. Temperature's going out of the roof. So anyway, we'll keep the cowl flaps open to keep the temperature as low as possible and see what happens. Let's see what's up here. Nothing much. That river down there, I'm not sure if that is showing here. Oh, it is. So that means we can see what is that, and that is border. Okay, yeah, I don't care the border. I wanted to know what river that is, but okay. Well, I know that is the border. Let's see in our sectional chart. Okay, the Colorado River. Whoa, wow. Good, nice, guys. That's the Colorado River to our left here. Pretty cool. Okay. And that is as well the border. Okay, interesting. Okay, 7.5 climbing to 10,000. 110 knots is our VY speed. And life's good. Once we level off, we can tour a little bit of the GPS, which is the most interesting piece of equipment that we have here, because it works exactly as the real one. So that's how everything should be, you know. I don't like that people try to simulate things like the seats and the, I don't know, lavatories or whatnot. I don't care about that, but I care about avionics and about my instruments. That's what I care. So I would love to have proper ammeters, working electrical gauges, a proper like this equipment here. This switch is inoperative. It doesn't work. This one, I mean, it's not inoperative. It's not programmed. So the developers, they didn't bother to program these switches. Why not? Those are very important because they will give me my flight time and my elapsed time. So if I have to do a holding or something, then I have something that I can use to take care of the time, you know, as it should. Yeah, I know I have this piece of crap here, but it's much better to have something digital here. And I don't think that's very difficult to program anyway. in my mind, I'm not a programmer or anything, but in my mind that should be easy to program, so I don't understand why they cannot do that. ADF is pretty much useless nowadays. This is the ADF units. We have 2 of those. We don't use those anymore, but the flight timer and the elapsed time,
1000, report to airport inside 12 o'clock, 18 miles.
those are kind of important and would be nice to have those simulated.
I'm sorry, the wrong call sign. Care 516, descend maintain 3000, report to airfield 12 o'clock,
same, the suction. The suction, these 2 things, these indicators means that the system is not working, is inoperative. So either the,
Care 516, thank you, clear approach runway
the
30.
rear engine or the front engine is inoperative. But this is just a graphic there, it never changes. So it's not simulated. And it's giving me the wrong data, you know, it's telling me, hey, I'm inoperative, both engines, which is not the case. And the rear engine is not connected even. Anyway, well, stop run for that. I need to do a little bit of a turn here, slightly turn. So we've crossed the Parker VOR and now we are going to Palm Springs VOR. So a slight turn here, 500 feet to go on the climb. And I am going to reset my indicator for that as well. And now we are flying from the VOR. So we are now in the radial 2. Oops, I'm starting to deviate here. 230 something. 232 or so. Okay, correcting. 200 to level off, so let me concentrate on the level off. We are climbing 500 feet a minute, 10%, so 50 feet before we have to maneuver to level off. And that's what we will do, 50 feet before now. Pitch down to level off exactly at 10,000. Beautiful. And now we have to trim for that. And that requires a little bit of patience, because we trim for 10,000, and as the airspeed start to increases, we have to keep trimming, pitch down, so the airplane actually maintains 10,000. Okay, so the speed is starting to increase here a bit towards cruising speed, which will be about 160 knots through airspeed while maintaining 10,000 feet. Good. Okay, so we are pretty much done. Still have to do a little bit more trimming until the speed stabilizes. Still the speed increasing, so we have to do a little bit more trimming to maintain 10,000. Okay, let me go back to 10,000. I drifted a little bit, but we will go down to 10,000. Do not worry about it. And we have a very simple autopilot as well that we can use, because it's not fun to have to keep fighting this, even though once the stream is pretty much hands off. So it should stay very nice, but you still have to pay attention to that and everything. So, and it's kind of a boring, repetitive thing that our autopilot is very good to help us with that. So I'm gonna hold and engage autopilot, heading and navigation, and altitude hold. Right, so now autopilot is working to maintain our altitude and our track. Very good. So now we can check out the window. What's going on? Nothing much. It's just a desert. Good. So let me go back to our flight plan here. Why this thing is jumping, I don't know. Okay, let's first check that everything is well here. All the instruments are correct. Okay, airspeed is still increasing a little bit, but we can go ahead and set the mixture for cruise. Okay. Mixture for cruise in this airplane looks like it's right around the 50 pounds per hour mark. So as we decrease the mixture levers, the EGT increases. And basically the idea is until peak EGT and then to enrich for 100 degrees. But I know for experience that that pretty much means 50 pounds per hour per side, so 100 pounds per hour total, which is what we have set now. And that sets on an EGT of 1430 nicely. Cylinder head temperatures are in the green, oil temperatures are in the green, oil pressures are in the green, suction is good, EGT is good, RPMs 2600 are good, fuel flow 100, and that is pounds per hour. So 50 per side is
516, contact tower 18.3.
100 per hour, which is 16 gallons per hour, 16.7 gallons per hour. LA Center, were you calling 12440?
12440, second.
Did you call us?
Negative.
Roger. Okay, so I think I heard 12445, and I was thinking maybe he confused 12445 with 12440. So, but that was not for us. All right. So what I was saying, 16.7 gallons per hour. So let's verify that with our trusty GPS. We're going to auxiliary fuel planning page, and it says here 17.4 gallons per hour. All right, so 17.4 times 6, that is 104.4. Yeah, that pretty much is correct. So we have a bit of important information in this page. That is the auxiliary fuel planning page. So it says from present position to Riverside, our fuel on board right now is 120 gallons. Our fuel flow is 17.4 gallons per hour. Our ground speed is 155 knots. Our required fuel is 13.6 gallons. So we have 120 gallons and we need 13.6 to get to Riverside. So we are good. We have plenty of fuel, which is good. I mean, I'm not complaining about that. Landing fuel on board 106.6. That means that upon landing, we should have a remaining fuel of 106.6 gallons. And that means that we have to fly 6 hours and 7 minutes. So after landing, if we cannot land for some reason, we still have for 6 hours kind of a reserve fuel. So that's a lot. These tanks, they hold 888 pounds, which I believe is 150 gallons or something like that. 888 divided by 6. Yeah, 148 gallons. That's the usable fuel quantity of this airplane, which is pretty good. You can fly about 8 or 9 hours in this airplane, no problem. So let's keep reading from this page. EFF, that's the efficiency factor. So that's basically how many miles per gallon. You're doing 9 miles per gallon. The range at the present fuel flow, our range is 1081 nautical miles. which again is pretty good, and that means endurance of 6 hours and 52 minutes. And we were not full when we departed. We were not full, so this is a really amazing airplane. All right, so let's see what else we have. Let's go to the density, altitude, through airspeed, and winds page. Here our calibrated airspeed is 142, indicated altitude 10,010, baro is 29082, TAT, that's the true air temperature, is 10 degrees Celsius outside at this elevation. My indicator is showing about a little bit chilly, about 4 degrees Celsius. So let me go ahead and select a little bit of heat here so we don't freeze to death. Alright, what else can we see from here? True airspeed 170, 169, which is really good. Wind 228 at 11, which means 10 knots of headwind. Oh, well, we have to deal with that. Alright, what else can we check here? Nothing more. Here we can fly timers. Let's see, we departed at 16 and 16. Okay, so that's 4 minutes later. I have written here 16:12. We actually departed at 16:16. Okay, so I'm gonna correct that. And it's been 22 minutes of trip time until now. So that means that now the time is 38 past 16:38, and we can check that here. 16:38, pretty much right on the money. I love it. Okay, what else? Now let's cross-check our navigation. So we are 27 miles from Parker VOR and 61 miles to Palm Springs VOR. So Palm Springs VOR will be 115.5. So let me set that 115.5. That is the Palm Springs VOR, and we should be arriving on a... Why is this blinking? 070 radial, almost. Which again, no, let me change that to Palm Springs VOR, because otherwise this doesn't work. 115.5 Palm Springs. Okay, so now we have a 2 indication, so we read the radius down below here, and now we are in the 070 plane, 060, 68, 69, something like that, which is indeed correct. We are 57.7 DME reading from the VOR, and that matches our reading from the GPS. So that confirms that we are where we think we are, which is always nice to know. All right. Good. So 21 minutes until Palm Springs VOR. Let's start thinking about our arrival. Riverside. 80s will be 128.8, so I'm gonna go ahead and preset that here. 128.8. So later on that will be our 80s, 128.8. Actually, before that, what we can do is, we check the ident of the Palm Springs VOR to make sure that it is what we think it is. So nav2, let's hear that. I hope you can hear that. Yeah, that's the Morse code, and I'm reading that versus the paper chart, or well, actually the electronic flyback chart. We don't use paper charts anymore. But anyway, the idea is, I don't know if you can hear that in the video, but it's the Morse code. So I'm gonna try to do it with the system. Okay, so here we go again. Toot, 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 toot. Yeah, that's the Morse code for Palm Springs, Papa Sierra Papa. And it's correct. So yeah, we have the correct frequency here, 115.5. That's gonna be up here in the NAV1 radio as well. And the next one is gonna be basically Paradise, 112.2. So I'm gonna preset that in my navigator, 112.2 in standby for the next one. Good. So we have that all set up. Let's see what's going on at Riverside Municipal. At the moment, winds 200 at 3 knots. So pretty much wind is calm. 10 miles visibility, broken clouds at 2,400 feet, overcast at 2,900 feet, 18 degrees, 12 is the dew point, and altimeter 29906. So we have 29080 now. The QNH, the pressure is going to be going up until Riverside, and we will have 2996 once we get there. So we expect the QNH to be rising, to be increasing in the next calls to the next centers. We'll see about that. So based on that wind, 200 at 3, I expect that we will be using runway 27 in Riverside. So what kind of approaches do we have there for runway 27? Ooh, we have an RNAV approach. RNAV approach that goes from bands. I think we can use that. Yeah, once we get closer, what I'm gonna do is I will probably request the RNAV 27 from bands, and that will be, let me load that in my fourth flight to have a look. Approach RNAV 27 bands as to the route. Okay, done. And the chart. I don't really want the chart here, but we can brief the chart now that we have some time. So basically, after. Okay, so where is this point? Bands. Oh, I see bands. So after the Palm Springs BOR, actually, we could request direct to bands for the RNAV 27 approach. And I'm gonna go ahead and load that in the navigator. So we select procedure, select approach, RNAV 27 from bands, load, and that's an LPV approach, enter. So now let's check. So bands, that's the initial approach fix. It goes to Cookview. Let me cross check that with the chart. Bands Cookview, and that is 261 9.3 DME. 261 DME, okay. Correct. Cookview, when va? 261 7 DME, correct. Payig, 272 3.2 DME, correct. Well, that's difficult to pronounce this one. Leyei, whatever. That's the final approach fix, and it's 272 3 miles, and that is correct. And the runway 272 7 miles, 6.8 miles, which is correct. So for the missed approach, it says climb to 4,000 feet direct to ICIYE. Okay, so ICIYE is 271 degrees, so straight ahead, 3.9, that is 4 miles basically. And then via 246 degrees track to Prado, So Prado 246, yeah, correct, it's 248 here, and 13.9 miles, that is perfectly as per the chart. And then hold, which is correct. The hold is 259 with right turns. Good, that is, and 4 miles left. That is exactly what we have in the navigator, so everything is set up and ready for that approach. Okay, so now let's review the chart here real quick. It's a WAS, and we have WAS in this unit. That's the very neat thing, because otherwise we cannot do LPV approaches. I mean, if you don't have WAS, you can still do this approach, but only down to LNAV minima. If you have, if it's you know, one of those jets that they can do VNAV, you could go to LNAV VNAV. But in most general aviation, if you have the same unit but without WAS, then you can use only LNAV minima. I don't know, probably you will have LNAV plus V, which is different than LNAV VNAV. Maybe even you have LNAV VNAV, I'm not sure in the old units. But anyway, without WAS you cannot use the LPV minima. But we have WAS in this unit, and how can we know that? Let's see. If we scroll up to here, 3D differential navigation, and also we can go to auxiliary page, go to here, this is bus selection, and you can see that all of them are on. So we have WAS, which is the one that is used in US, is on, and the other ones, EGNOS, I believe that's the one in Europe, Gagan, the one in Russia or China or something. I'm not really sure about the other ones, but WAS is the one that we use in US. It is a type of SBAS, which means satellite-based augmentation system. So that's what we have. We have WAS in the unit, so we can use down to LPV minima. If we would not have WAS, one thing we should do is the rain prediction thing. So we go ahead to rain prediction. That's our destination. Today is 18th of June and arrival time 17:45. And that is correct. So we can compute rain. And it says that rain is gonna be available. So that's good news. Okay. So that is all good. So let's go ahead and brief the chart. So 8 is 128.8, that's preset in COM2. Runway approach course 269. Landing 5,400 feet the runway. Elevation 818. So 820 basically. DME, RNP not applicable. We don't have that, so that's good. Uncompensated valve enough, we don't have that. Circling not applicable for Cat Delta, we are Cat Bravo airplane, so no problem. Visibility by helicopter, so none of the notes are applicable to us. We can see that non-standard takeoff and alternate minima. We review the missed approach, straight ahead climbing to 4,000 and then left turn to Prado, and that's all in the navigator, ready to go. Frequency is 28.8, is set for the 80, SoCal approach 135.4, so we expect the frequency 135.4, maybe not. Tower 121.0, ground 121.7. Procedure not applicable for arrivals or bands, northeastbound and eastbound. Okay, so for arrivals in the other direction, but we are arriving in the proper direction, so we are very well established to do this procedure. MSA, in case of emergency, the minimum safe altitude is 12,100. That is because we have pretty high mountains around. Alright, so what else? Winva, it's 5,100 or above. AE 4,100 or above, and that's 3 miles between those two. 3 miles to descend 1,000 feet. We are flying about, at that point we're going to be flying about 2 miles per minute. So we have 1 minute and a half almost.
440, contact SoCal approach 126.7.
126.7, 440. So let me change.
2608, Las Vegas departure, radar contact.
67. Okay. Changed frequency. Let's see if we can listen the 80s.
Alaska 2608, verify climb via SID.
No, we still cannot listen to the 80s, too far away. SoCal, good morning, Skymaster 12440, 1010,000.
12440, SoCal approach Palm Springs, altimeter 2983.
2983, 12440. Okay, so as you can see, the QNH is starting to increase here, 2983. Okay, good. So let's see, what is that? Let's see. That is, yeah, probably we'll be able to check that in our navigator. Salton Sea. All right, thank you. So what is that? That is Salton Sea, guys, and we can check that in our sectional chart as well. Yep, Salton Sea. Good. We still have 8 minutes more to go to Palm Springs, so we can finish. So again, from Winva we will have to go a little bit more. No, actually we have a minute and a bit, minute 20, something like that. So we can descend about 800 feet a minute, and that will be good. And then from Pei to Levy, that's another 1,000 feet. So it's 5,100, 4,100, and 3,100 at Levy. That's the final approach fix. So it's about 800 feet a minute descent, so that is manageable. And from there down to minima, LPV minima is 1236. And we have 1.5 mile visibility required. Right now is reporting 10 miles and broken at 24, so we should be a-okay. We should be able to see the runway. Right, so it's straight into the 27 and it's a long runway. All the exits are to the left side. Let's see what kind of FBOs we have there. We have RAS Jetport and Rain Cross Fuel and Oil. All right. Let me see in my 4-flight FBOs. Alright, so as far as fuel price, they're pretty much the same. RAS Jetport is showing 349 dollars per gallon. Rain Cross $365 per gallon, so we should be okay going to any of those. Let's see what we have, what kind of facilities we have here. RAS Jetport offers superior customer service and operations to all aviation clientele. We strive to make your visit as pleasant as possible, whether you're planning an extended stay or just passing through. Alright, our friendly and professional staff is here to assist you in planning your travel arrangements. Our newly remodeled FBO lounge offers peaceful sitting for both passengers and crew members. Put your feet up, relax, and our TV lounge will be watching the latest shows and movies in our flat-screen HD televisions. Enjoy a chilled beverage or snack, blah 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 blah. Okay. Lots of things. Let's see what Rain Cross Fuel and Oil says. Nothing. Okay. Okay, so guess what? I think we're going to RAS Jetport. Alright, RAS jetport it is, and for that we have to vacate left, probably be a Foxtrot, and then continue Alpha Golf to the ramp, and then like a U-turn via Golf back to RAS jetport. Let me see how long is the Foxtrot here. So we have 600 meters to Foxtrot. That should be enough. If we miss Foxtrot, we will take Golf, no problem. Okay, so anyway, we vacate to the left and proceed to the ramp. Alright, so that is the briefing for the plate. Let's see if we can hear the 80s.
Altimeter 29906. Arriving and departing runway 27. Arnub runway 27 approaching use. Read backhaul runway assignment and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Quebec.
Information Quebec.
Riverside Municipal Airport. ATIS information Quebec. 1553 Zulu. Wind 190 at 3. Visibility 10. Ceiling 2,400 broken. 2,900 overcast. Temperature 18. Dew point 12. Altimeter 29906. Arriving and departing runway 27. Arnub runway 27 approaching use. Read call runway assignment and hold short instruction.
Good.
Advise
So
on initial.
we have 80s Quebec after Palm Springs. See if we can get to Banff. Actually, we have to clear that big mountain there, so Palm Springs to D-Way, that works for us initially because it's a light right turn. Yeah, that's what we have in our flight plan. Palm Springs right turn to D-Way, so we cross in the middle of this
Legion 2608, contact Los Angeles Center
mountain
133.2.
passes here.
133 to Legion.
And once we are heading in that direction, we will ask the ATC to go direct bands for the Arnav approach. Now, bands, we have to cross at 8,600 or above.
Legion 2608, Los Angeles Center, good morning, climb maintain level 260.
So 869. We are at 10,000, at 1,400 feet we have to descend for bands. And that means 2 minutes if we descend 700 feet a minute, and that means we are doing about almost 3 miles per minute, so that's about 6 miles before band, so we don't have any problem with that. Good, so I think we are all set. I'm gonna set here just in case the next frequency is 135.4. I'm gonna set on a standby 135.4. Good. Okay, I think we are all set for that now. Let's enjoy the view. We are approaching here to Palm Springs, and we can see Palm Springs to our left. Damn, that's a big city, eh? Yeah, that's a big city. It spans all our view from the left all the way to the front, and we have what? Well, we have Palm Springs International there coming into our view, and we have this big mountain here. We have the tram. Have you been to the tram in Palm Springs? It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We went there with the family a few years ago and we had a blast. Highly recommend it. And to the right, nothing much. A little bit more of Palm Spring there. Well, that's pretty cool. Anyway, we are approaching the VOR. Now we can start to see the discrepancy between the DMA distance from the GPS versus the DMA distance from the VOR. The GPS will go eventually to 0. The VOR DME will go eventually to whatever altitude we have between the VOR and our airplane. That means our actual altitude. Palm Springs, it's pretty much 500 feet, so yeah, 1.4, 1.3, which means 10,000 feet. So 1.4 miles is 10,000 feet almost, so yeah, that is the DME. Alright, so now we are going to D-Way, and after we've crossed these mountains here, we will, there it is, that's Palm Springs International. Nobody's flying, I guess due to the COVID-19.
44 Sierra, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
135.4, 440. There you go, 13554 as we predicted. So we have Quebec. Yep, and we request to, when able, to bands. SoCal, good morning, Skymaster 12440 10,000 with Quebec.
12440 SoCal approach. The Ontario altimeter 29906.
29906, 12440. 29906, there we go. So now we are already on the QNH that we need to be for Riverside, so we are all set there. And yeah, after crossing the mountain here, we should be able to see the tramway. That was a pretty good experience. The tram should go from, I don't know, somewhere up here all the way down to somewhere here, I don't know. It was pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, so and we can see clouds ahead, the IFR area. Okay, let's have the heading back set to what we are actually doing. Pretty cool. It's and this is only default scenery. Yeah? I don't have anything. It's just plain vanilla default X-plane scenery, but still is pretty good. Same from Parker. Parker was, you know, an airport in the middle of nothing, of nowhere. Still, it had a very nice layouts, exactly as it is in the chart, with even with some hangars and a few facilities there, which is very cool. It's really nice. Okay, we have 3 minutes to D-Way. So I guess we can request vectors. SoCal Skymaster 12440 will be requesting vectors for the Arnav 27 approach.
Air 440 after D-Way, clear direct Wenva, cross Wenva at 6,000. Clear to RNAV runway 27 approach.
Roger, D-Way to Wenva 6,000, and we are clear for the RNAV 27 approach, 12440. Nice, sweet. So from D-Way, once we cross D-Way and we start the turn, we will select direct to Wenva at 6,000. And we are already clear for the approach. So what we have to do is set the next frequency, which is going to be Riverside Tower 121.0. 121.0. Good. That is set on standby, and that's going to be our next frequency change. So 6,000 from 10,000. We need to descend 4,000 feet. If we descend 7,700 a minute, it's gonna be 5 minutes and a bit, almost 6 minutes. 6 times 3, 18 miles. Yeah, very good. So direct to Wenva after passing D-Way. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. approaching the way. That must be very beautiful to fly in this area in real life. Okay, everything is looking good. Engine instruments are A-OK. Electrics are A-OK. Everything is good. Our flight is telling us 128.8. Thank you. We already have that. 30 seconds to turn. And we are here to Wenva. Wenva being our initial approach fix, and Wenva is 5,100. So it says here left turn in 1 second. There is the turn. So now we can set flight plan. We scroll down to Wenva. We set direct Wenva, activate, execute, and there it is. Boom. Direct to Wenva. We have 8 minutes to go, and we would like to descend 700 feet a minute, so that means 6 minutes descent time. 6 times 3, because we are almost 3 miles per minute. 18 miles, so 6 miles before, 18 miles before. Now we are 7.5, 20 miles. So in 1 minute and a half we will start our descent down to 6,000 feet. And then after that we will follow the approach plate. Super. I love this airplane. I love this scenery, default scenery. Weather is also default. I mean, I know there are some software out there to make it better, but for me that's good enough. I don't need anything more than that. And there we go, approaching to 6 minutes. We are now 18 miles away. So I think we can go ahead and start our descent. So autopilot disconnect. And let's go down, guys. So I'm gonna trim to maintain a descent of about 750 minutes. Gonna reduce the power a bit because otherwise we will start to accelerate. Okay, there we go. About 700-minute descent. And we will have to start increasing our RPM, our mixture as well, slowly, bit by bit, during our descent. Good. So now we're back to hand flying. We say thank you very much to our autopilot for such a great job during cruise. And now we have control. Okay. Good, so we are going to maintain this speed. Once we are approaching Wenva, I would like to start reducing speed. And the descent, I'm gonna do it with flaps 1/3. Until about 3,100, which is the missed approach point, sorry, the final approach fix, which is Lady. At that final approach fix, I will start configuring with gear and flaps 2/3, and I will keep that, and we are visual with the runway. And once we are visual with the runway, pretty much landing assured, we will select flaps full or 3/3. Once we have the gear down, we will do the before landing checklists. So that covers everything up to the flaps. So the only thing missing will be the last, the final flap setting basically. So that's the plan, guys. Okay, we are crossing 8.5, descending down to 6. That's 2.5. So that's 3 and a bit, 3.5 minutes, and we have 3.5 minutes to go to Wemba. So we are good. We are good. Now I can see our airplane in the chart, over the chart on Flight, which is very cool. So that's another confirmation that we are where we think we are. Alright, we don't need to, and this is an RNAV approach, so it's not based on nav8, so we can dismiss whatever we have on the VORs. We don't need that anymore. And pretty much our only navigation system is based purely on our GPS.
Any contact Riverside Tower 121.0, have a good morning.
Was that for 12440?
440, affirmative, contact Riverside Tower 120, correction, 121.0, have a good one.
Roger, 121.0, have a good day, 12440.
Allegiant 260, contact Los Angeles Center 124.62.
Okay. Riverside Tower, good morning. Skymaster 12440 is on RNAV 27.
Skymaster 12440 Sierra, Riverside Tower, wind variable 3, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land 27, 12440. Wow, look at that. We are clear to land already. Ground 121.7, that's gonna be our next frequency. And we are all set. Okay, so let me increase our mixture here a little bit more. Decrease our power levers a little bit more. 2 minutes to go, and we are 7.3 descending to 6. Okay, so let's increase our descent rate a little bit and decrease our power a little bit more. Okay. Good. Let me go ahead and go like this. Okay, so we are 6,000, we are clear 6,000 up to Wenva. After crossing Wenva, we can continue our descent. So that is the plan. Okay. So now we are back to normal. We can resume about a 500 feet per minute descent. And that would be enough. Okay. 500 feet per minute. We need to trim for that. All right. And start reducing our power a little bit more, increase our mixture a little bit more. We are approaching 6,000. "20 seconds to go Wenva." So we have to hold 6,000 until Wenva. And then we have a right turn to 272. And they want the right turn now. Okay, that means that is called turn anticipation. Okay, so turn now. We've crossed Wenva, so now we can continue our descent.
5, leaving uniform, runway 29er, clear for the option.
Okay.
Clear for the option on runway 29er, November 705, leaving uniform.
Good. So we can continue our descent. So now we have to be paying at 4100. So we have to descend a lot more. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the power, increase the mixture, and flaps 1. Flap 1 limitation is 160 knots. We are doing 140, so we can set flaps 1 now. And that's to help me reduce my speed while maintaining a descent rate. Okay. Pay E 4100 to lay. That's the final approach fix, and that's at 3100. So we're still a little bit high, but nothing that we cannot fix it. Okay. Well, sorry about the ears. Yeah, I know it's a little bit high descent rate here, but we have to do what we have to do. Okay, I think that will be good. And we have our glide slope indication now coming up as well. So we are about to intercept our glide slope. Our GPS is indicating us that we can do LPV. All the satellites, all the calculations, all the checks are okay to do an LPV approach. So that is what we are doing. Okay, we are back on glide. Perfect. And based on our ground speed, about 600 feet per minute will do it. So 3000, go ahead and gear down. 31, good. And now we just follow the glide slope like an ILS. Okay, gear down and it's showing green. Flaps 2/3. Good. And now we keep descending to our minima, which is 1236. Already airport inside there, so that is nice. Okay, so at this point I think we can turn the lights on, turn the synchro phaser off, set mixture full reach, set props full forward. So we are good to do our landing checklists. Okay, before landing checklists, let's see. Fuel valves, green. Cowl flaps open. Seatbelts tight. Lights on. Synchro phaser off. Mixture reach. Props forward. Gear down. Green. Flaps. Good. So just before landing checklist is complete, and we only have the last flap setting to go. We are a tiny bit high, so we are going to increase our descent rate here. And let's review our missed approach. It's basically straight ahead, climbing to 4,000 feet. Pretty easy. So if we have to go for missed approach, I'm gonna set full power, pitch up to about 5 to 10 degrees initially. Once we have positive climb, gear up, and then flaps to 2/3 initially. After that, after 90 knots, flap to 1, flaps up, and props 2600. Increase to 110 knots and climb to 4,000 feet. Verify that the GPS is set for the missed approach. Usually that means we have to set the OBS button to unsuspend the GPS, and that's it. That's the plan for the missed approach. If everything goes well, we will land.
San Luis Tower, November 705, Lima uniform is midfield.
Good.
Left downwind
So
for runway 29er, requesting
now,
full stop.
full flaps. Full flaps set. We have a ballooning during flap extension, and our approach speed, guys, our approach reference speed is 86 knots. So that's what we are maintaining here. And let me set the trim for, okay, looks like there is the proper point. Good, so flown flaps is set. Let me take the heat away, because probably right now we are almost 20 degrees. We don't need the heat anymore. And now let's concentrate on the landing phase. We are on glide, on speed, on power setting.
Burbank clearance.
Speed
Skyhawk
stable, that's
210
minima,
Alpha Romeo.
continue. Stable, continue.
San Luis Tower, November 705 Lima uniform is on the left downwind for runway 29, requesting full stop.
5 Lima uniform, runway 29, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 29, 5 Lima uniform.
Air 210 Alpha Romeo, Burbank clearance, go ahead.
Burbank clearance, Skyhawk 210 Alpha Romeo. This is a 172 slant Golf. Request flight following to John Wayne via
And we are
mini
missing
route,
Foxtrot here, so we will
southbound.
take Golf, which
I
is
will
the
fly
next
at
one to the
2,500
left.
feet.
So easy on the
Air 210
brakes.
Alpha Romeo, maintain VFR below 2,500 televised.
Okay.
Departure frequency will be with the tower and squawk 1304.
Okay. And we are taking Golf here, guys.
Flying
And then we know that
VFR
we
at
have to do a
2,500
U-turn.
feet. We'll stay on tower, squawk
Clear.
1304
Clear.
to 10 Alpha Romeo.
Clear. We are clear, so I'm gonna
Air 0 Alpha Romeo, read back
right
correct.
here. Okay, so
Air 44 Sierra, taxi to parking via Alpha.
taxi to parking via Alpha 44 Sierra, thank you. Okay, so we are clear to taxi via Alpha. Flaps are up, trims reset, lights are okay, mixture lean for taxi, time 1723 via Alpha. Alpha is this one, turning left. Let me write 1723 here real quick. That was our landing time. Okay, and again, let's see that I have not forgotten anything. Come on, a little bit more power. Looks like a little bit of an upslope here.
Burbank ground, Skyhawk 210 Alpha Romeo, near Charlie, ready to
Checklist
taxi with X-ray.
after landing. Okay, time.
Number 210 Alpha
Note of
Romeo,
lights.
Burbank ground, runway 8, taxi via Charlie.
Set mixture.
8
Lean
via
for
Charlie,
taxi.
210 Alfa Romeo.
Trim set, flaps up. Okay, after landing checklist is complete. Good, so let's go. So Alpha will take the next one, which is
Air
Echo,
5 Lima uniform, exit right at Foxtrot, taxi to parking via Alpha.
and we will see where we park there.
Exit right at Alpha, and then
Okay,
Foxtrot,
let's
and then
open
taxi
the window
via
here for
Alpha.
a little bit of air,
Skyhawk
fresh air.
705 Lima uniform.
Sky 5 Lima uniform, taxi to Cat 3.
Well, we had a little bit of a bounce in the landing, but it was minor.
Could you repeat that, please, for 705 Lima uniform?
Nothing really important. It was not
It came in
perfect,
garbled.
Lima uniform, pass for the Cat 3.
Oh, thank you very much.
but we survived, and we can use the airplane again. So I guess that's a good landing. Okay, so this one is Echo to the right, clear, clear. We take this one. Okay, yeah, alright, very good. Okay, and here it is. This is RAS Jetport. So let's see where we can park. I think I'm gonna park here. Yeah, I'm gonna park here. Near these guys here. Okay, this I think is as good as any other place to park. So parking brake is set. We are not moving. Taxi light is off. Okay. Transponder standby, and we are resetting to VFR squawk here in US, which is 1200. Good. Let's see how much we have of fuel remaining. Flight timers first. It says that it was 1 hour and 7 minutes. And we will cross-check that. We have here 16, 17, 16. Yeah, 1 hour and 7 minutes. We took off at 16:16, land at 17:23, which is 1 hour and 7 minutes. So that is checked. And now, let's see, fuel remaining 107. I think we predicted 106.6. We landed with 107 remaining. That means we have 21 gallon of fuel consumption. All right, so that is all we need from that. We can switch off the master and make sure then engines off, ignition off, lights off. We leave the cold flaps open, alternate off, and battery off. That's it, guys. I hope you like it. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. And yeah, that's it. See you in the next one. Thank you. Have a good day.